Hello and welcome to Just One More Watch. Please feel free to correct me if I'm wrong, it does happen occasionally. There was this one time back in 1996. Seiko don't make a bronze watch. I googled it, I'm fairly confident. Now that to me is a bit of a surprise. The bronze craze, phase, fad, call it what you will, has been upon us now I think for about the last 4 or 5 years, and some fairly major brands, Tudor and notably Oris, have jumped on board and seem to be doing rather well selling bronze pieces. But not Seiko, which I do think is surprising. Can you imagine if they released a limited edition bronze turtle priced at $800, gave it a green dial? People would be queuing up to buy those things. So I think there's a bit of a miss on Seiko's part. Enter the Chinese, specifically San Martin, purveyors of fine homages. Now, this watch was sent to me for free by the LGY watch store on AliExpress. I will obviously leave links to their store in the description of the video. They have this one currently on sale for a smidge over $240 US. 3 different dial colours available with or without branding. 2 different strap choices, so plenty of options for you. Now, if it looks familiar, that's because I've already reviewed the stainless steel version of the same watch, and I described it as the watch that Seiko should have made. It's basically an SLA 017 homage, and it's gorgeous. It's a really nice, really well-spec'd watch for not an awful lot of money. Let's flip the camera and have a look at it. So Seiko missing out on a potential cash grab by not releasing a limited edition model? What is the world coming to? Anyway, San Martin, I'm not going to hang around today having reviewed the stainless steel one only a couple of months ago. I will leave a link in the top corner of the screen if you want to watch the review of that. I thought it was excellent for around $250, $260, a little more on the bracelet. A really good all-rounder. This one, well, is it an homage? Technically they haven't done a bronze watch, but certainly it's an homage to the SLA 017 that they released in stainless steel, but here with a glorious green dial. This one just beginning to patina nicely. Proper 2-year warranty, stamped and dated. Now I got this one sent to me on the waffle strap. They also sent the second rubber strap, which is pristine, so I get to show you the kind of before and after with the bronze, and actually a decent little spring bar removal tool. Not a piece of junk, that one is highly usable. I've been using that one on and off when I've misplaced the Bergeron over the last few weeks. So 40 millimeters in diameter, 14.5 millimeters thick, so it is fairly chunky. 48 mil lug tip to lug tip with drilled lugs, as you can see there. 20 millimeter lug width, and on the supplied waffle, this one weighs in at 108 grams. CUSN8 marine grade bronze case, bezel, crown, but obviously it's a stainless steel case pack. Nobody wants a bronze case pack unless you want a little green disc on your wrist permanently. Usual spec sheet here, you can pretty much guess it by now. Sapphire crystal, divers, 200 meters, Seiko NH35 and San Martin. No surprises in terms of specs this one. I guess the big bonus though is that piece of double domed sapphire crystal. Really only my Oris 65 has come up with as beautifully domed a piece of crystal as this, and certainly that one is $1,000 US plus, so a nice bit of crystal for your $240. Now, I always say with bronze watches, the case finishing doesn't have to be spectacular because it's the patina. That's really what we're looking for. That's spectacular, not the case finishing. So this is nice and simple. Just a straight finish on the side of the case, straight finish on the lugs, no chamfered edges or anything of the sort here. Little high polished crown there, nice touch though. We do have the shark, matching the shark on the case back, and a very grippy bezel. Now the bezel is that slightly awkward 90 click unidirectional rotating bezel. Never quite sure why a manufacturer would specify a 90 click rather than 120 click. They are slightly awkward, but no backplay, no bounce, and everything lines up as it should. And there is a lume triangle at 12. I'll put the lume up early today. Now, if you remember, the San Martin stainless steel appeared in Lume Wars episode 2, and it almost took out the Seiko Samurai in one of the quarterfinals, so it did very well for itself. C3 Superluminova, and heaps of it in those applied indices, in the hands, in the triangle, on the bezel. No complaints whatsoever. However, it really does glow very brightly with not much charging at all, this one. Zoomed in on the dial and you can see that luscious green colour. Green, I think, a natural choice to partner up with a bronze watch. You can see some kind of petrochemical colours already emerging on that all bronze bezel. I think green, a great colour match with bronze. Once the watch does patina properly, you can force it obviously. I've done it a few times myself, but it's always nicer, I think, to leave a bronze watch to patina on its own. We've got a double width baton up there at 12, 1.5 widths at the 6 and at the 9. We've got a date frame around the date complication at 3 and single sized applied batons everywhere else. There is a little stepped chapter ring, a rehaut there with minute track around the outer edge. San Martin logo applied there in nicely colour matched gold. So all those indices are in gold, San Martin logo in gold, and a very Seiko-esque handset, including that classic signature second hand there with the little red tip to it. All nice and simple. Water 200 proof, again aping that old-fashioned Seiko style of the 62 mass upon which this watch is originally based, I guess, and 24 jewel, giving away the number of rubies in the NH35 there above the index at 6. I gave you a brief look at the case back earlier on, but there it is close up, and I'll do some macro as well. Nice high polished shark, and it is kind of embossed there against a kind of matte finished background recessed behind the shark. Looks pretty good and matching the little logo on the crown. No surprises that San Martin chose to put an NH35 in the back of their watch, and no real surprises getting this one on the time grapher. Stated tolerances of -20 to +30, usually they come in somewhere between 0 and +10 in my experience of them. This one running a little bit high, +13, +14. Of course, you can take the back off of these and adjust them yourself or get your friendly local watchmaker to do it for you. But hey, this is the wonderful world of cheap automatic watches. If you want a more accurate watch, go buy a quartz. But overall, not too bad. 24 jewel, hacking and hand winding auto with roughly 40-hour power reserve. 21,600 vibrations per hour, so 6 ticks of the second hand per second. And that's it, sitting on top of my average sized 7-inch wrist. That's what I told my wife when I met her anyway. Not a lot of curvature to this case. As discussed, the 62 mass and various homages, they're all pretty flat. Not much curvature to the lug, but only 48mm lug tip to lug tip means it does wear quite reasonably when combined with a nice soft waffle style strap. Matching bronze hardware, as you can see, this one is beginning to patina, beginning to tarnish. This one's been in the house for about 4 to 6 weeks, so I should have probably taken this one on my travels to Bali with me, but I took that Marlowe Morar instead. This one would probably have been more fun in and out of salt water watching that bronze change colour. No issues with legibility given that it's a dive watch. Nice big handset, nice big bold indices. You are going to get quite a lot of light plane distortion off that piece of super domed sapphire, but still nice and legible. Same applies outside in natural light. Again, lots of distortion and reflection from that big piece of sapphire, but it's still nicely legible. And like I said, this one comes in black dial or blue dial, but the green is the winner here for me, I think. You also noticed a more pronounced sunburst effect when you get it outside into some, if not quite sunshine today, but certainly some natural light. And that's it on wrist. Fairly flat as discussed, but the short lug to lug means it wears well. And there it is on the alternative strap. This is the one to use if you want to give the watch a more contemporary look, but contemporary is relative, I guess. I mean 90s rather than 60s. Big CUSN8 marine grade buckle on there, and the San Martin shark on the tip of it. Nice, soft, supple and comfortable as well. Moans and niggles, what am I going to complain about today then? Well, not too much to be honest. $240 for a bronze watch with sapphire crystal, Seiko movement in the back of it and a decent rubber strap, I think is a bit of a deal. I must have reviewed 10, 12 bronze watches on the channel so far. I think this is just about the cheapest marine grade bronze one with a Seiko movement. I looked at that Ventus, but that was brass and it was on Kickstarter. That was $199, so this is getting down there pretty close to it. And the piece of sapphire on this one, I think, nicer than on the Ventus. Obviously, it's an homage and it's bronze, so that is going to narrow its appeal right there. And is it just me, or does that index at 6 have a bit of a lean on? I think that one is just slightly tilted over to the left. Not a deal breaker, I don't think, but just everything else looks pretty good. That one at 6, I think, just got a bit of a lean on, if you know what I mean. But Saint Martin number 3 for me, and I have enjoyed all 3 of them. Really, bargain basement. Not a lot of originality in the designs, but if you can forgive them for that, or if you are looking for the watch that Seiko should have made in bronze, but can't find it, then you could do a lot worse than this one, I reckon. So there you have it. If Seiko made a bronze watch, they probably wouldn't make this one. They'd probably do a bronze turtle and charge $1,000 for it. But you get the idea. If you want the Seiko look with a Seiko movement, with a bronze case, but you don't want to spend a fortune modifying your own, $240 is not an awful lot of cash, I don't think. That's got to make this one of the cheapest bronze watches on the market anyway, and I think one of the nicest with that piece of gorgeous double-domed, big bubble-domed sapphire crystal on the dial. Who knows, perhaps Seiko will join the Bronze Age in 2020, but I have my doubts. Thanks for watching, see you in the next one.